আচ্ছা, গেম লবি ফুল বলতেছে।
হ্যাঁ, নাম তো বলতেছে।
আচ্ছা, গেম লবি ফুল বলতেছে। লিগ অফ লেজেন্ডস কমিউনিটিতে পোস্ট করে দিও একটু, আর তারিখ রে বা কাউকে কাউকে বলে দিও পোস্ট অ্যাপ্রুভালটা করে দিতে, কারণ এখন কিন্তু গ্রুপে পোস্ট অ্যাপ্রুভাল চলতেছে।
হ্যাঁ,
ইয়ের
হ্যাঁ,
জন্য। কভেন
আচ্ছা, মানে মোস্ট উইয়ার্ড পার্ট, মানে আমার ফ্রেন্ড লিস্টেও নাই এরকম মানুষগুলো লিঙ্ক পাঠাচ্ছে মেসেজ রিকোয়েস্ট।
তাই
মানে মানুষ কি করতো, কতটা অ্যানোয়িং হতে পারে, মানে ওর নিজের কি যে একটা স্ট্রেঞ্জারকে এইভাবে লিঙ্ক পাঠাচ্ছে।
আই থিঙ্ক ওরা যেটা করছে যে কমিউনিটির যারা যারা আছে সবাইদেরকে জাস্ট মানে পাগলের মতন পেয়ে পেয়ে লিস্ট ধরে ধরে জাস্ট পাঠাইছে, যদি একটা নেই। আমাদের মাইক কি অন? হ্যাঁ, Gotcha. So, ladies and gentlemen, today we are bringing you Game 2 of Blisstyle Presents Legends of Rift, Day 9. My name is Redbro, and today I'm joined by Mugiwara Mushfik as my co-caster, and we are going to commentate on EG, Exterminators Gaming versus Ghoul in this Group B best of one game.
I would
So,
like to call this the most spiciest group of the tournament. Okay, like we have no idea who's going through. There might be a three-way tie, in this, or at least there will be a two-way tie.
right. So, a lot depends on who wins in this matchup. So, it is Ghoul versus EG. Ghoul and EG both, I think, have 2 losses and 1 win in the group.
Yeah.
So, it is going to be very interesting to see who takes it today.
Go has two wins and one losses, and Exterminator Gaming has one win and two losses.
Okay,
So
so
if
they will
EG
be.
wins this game, like
Yeah,
Ghoul, Omega Squad, and EG, all three of them will have two wins, and
right,
then it will be decided by the last game, which is Omega Squad versus Keyboard Warriors.
right. So, coming to the picks and bans, we do see that EG have opted to take out Katarina, Lee Sin, and Jax. They really don't want to be playing against the late game power spikes and the snowball potential of those champions. In contrast with Ghoul's bans, really solid bans overall. Caitlyn, a lane bully in the bot, and you really don't want to pick a fragile ADC against her because she could just bully that person out. Echo, a really strong jungler right now in the meta. It is a good idea to pick him away if you have a team which is really physical damage heavy and you need that extra amount of magic damage. You just pick up the Echo jungle and you're set. So if you take the Echo out, that leaves you with Elise as your only magic damage option. If you want to play Zac, that's also possible. And Set, a really strong laner who has been terrorizing top lane ever since release. The nerfs haven't really hit him that hard, but he is getting a bit of a nerf in 10.7 as well. So, in terms of the picks, Mushfik, what do you think about the champions picked up so far?
Well, we see a Jinx late game hyper carry, but as an ADC main, I would say the Jinx is really not really that strong right now. Like if someone is really good with him, then he might be able to do something. But
Right,
currently, it's all about like Misfortune, Vayne, Ashe, Caitlyn. These are the
right,
real powerful ADCs.
right. So, yeah, Jinx does have that snowball potential, a really good hyper carry, but it's going to be
Like
interesting to see how
the
they
game
fare in
needs to be
lane.
pushed like to 25 to 30 minutes for
Yeah,
Jinx to be someone really scary. But
definitely.
before then, he'll be dealing I won't say below average, but average kind of damage, like decent amount of damage.
Okay, so Amon going for that Vladimir a monster for the late game, honestly, and he might not be so strong right now in the early game because of his lack of damage and lack of a threatening presence. But he does have the tools to get him through that weak early phase. He has that sustain. He has the pool to avoid ganks. And if Amon can actually transition into the late game, I think we might have a really really strong champion on our hands
I
there.
mean, their comp already looks really good. Israel, Leona, Vladimir. Israel can
Yeah,
be the early game bully for them.
yeah.
Even in late game, all those poke coming from an Israel, like the distance, from the distance he can poke. It's really annoying, I'd say.
Yeah, even the sustained damage that comes out from an experienced Ezreal player is just insane with that W and Q. It just
Yeah.
bursts down a squishy from full HP to half HP with just one WQ combo if you time your shots right, if you have the build set in. And coming to the pick of the Leona, a really popular support right now in the entire tournament. We have seen a lot of teams opting to pick Leona over any other support because of the sheer amount of CC that she brings to the table. And a lot of the games are decided in those mid-game to late game skirmishes and team fights near Dragon, and namely Dragon, not really anything else. And Leona does provide a strong utility bonus
Yeah,
to those fights.
the scariest thing about Leona is the chain CC, of course. But I would say that another thing about her is that really low CD on her ult. Like
Yeah,
even in the mid game, it's kind of like 50 to 60 seconds at best, and she can actually pick someone up like every minute. So
right.
yeah, she brings I would say a lot of CC plus a lot of tools on the table.
Yep. And right now, How do we pronounce this? Bukfoy. Let's pronounce his name as Bukfoy. Bukfoy opting to go for the Jarvan 4. A really, really strong compliment to Leona. The engage composition really coming out from Exterminator's Gaming right here as they opt to pick up a Diana. They're going to be looking to team fight really, really
I
hard.
really like this comp. They have sustain, they have engage, they have CC, they have poke and everything.
Yeah, and then there's no shortage of damage options coming out. You have the Vladimir, you have Ezreal, you have Diana, who's a beast, honestly. If she goes in and gets that all done to 3 or 4 members of the enemy team, she's going to deal a lot of damage. Meanwhile,
That's a lot of magic damage actually on that side.
yeah, and if you look at Ghoul's laners, it's really all about picking a lone champion out from the enemy team and then forcing a 4v5 engage onto Exterminators Gaming. That should be Ghoul's plan, judging by the composition that they've gone for. It looks like there's a Xin Zhao and an Irelia, both snowball heavy champions, and they do have the team set up to support them.
For Ghoul, it's all about going all in. Like look at that engage comp, Kled,
Yeah,
Zinza, Irelia. It's all about going in. They need to tunnel. I think they are planning on tunnel visioning Ezreal, maybe.
definitely. Yeah, they might plan on tunnel visioning Ezreal, but I think a lot of the team fights will be settled based on if Vladimir can, survive the team fights long enough to deal a lot of damage. Like a lot of players actually struggle against Vladimir because of the insane amount of healing that he brings in each team fight. And if you really don't have any healing reduction, he's just gonna keep on healing and dealing like tons of um scalable damage that will build up as long the longer the team fight actually goes. And judging by the two team comps, we are in for some really long team fights in this game.
Yeah, of course. And as Bird can also counter Leona really hard if the ult is used well. But
Yeah.
we all know that Bird's ult is a double-edged sword. Like it can work both ways.
Yeah, it can also make the poor Jinx get caught out by the enemy team if it's mistimed.
Yeah, that's
But it's
another.
also a really effective diving tool, which is not really a use case you see for average Bard players. If you're an experienced Bard player, you might just ult the turret and then just go all in. Because a lot of people think that Bard is mainly a disengage support, whereas the truth is very much far from
Uh,
that.
with the, with this comp, they should really try it. Like they have a Kled, but if
Yeah,
Bird just ults the turret, they can all go all in and try out. Like they have a very defensive kind of team comp. I mean, EG.
right.
They have Leona, they have a Vladimir, they have a lot of sustain. Though, so the
Definitely.
team fights will be drawn out. The team fights will be
Mhm,
long, as you said. So I
mhm.
think a turret dive should be on the table.
Definitely, definitely. And we are going to be going to the game after 1 minute 30 seconds. But predictions: who do you think is going to win?
Okay, that's really hard to pick. Hmm, but I would say that uh, okay, EG has a better chance to win this game if they can draw out the game. Like they need to take it to late game, at least to 30 minutes.
Right. So EG on the cards for you. I think that yeah, EG does have the upper hand in terms of scaling, and a lot of these tournament games, except for the last one that we saw, did get dragged on near to 30 minutes. So if that does happen, EG do have the better composition because they have the Diana, they have Ezreal, they have Vladimir, all really good scaling champions. Whereas in terms of Ghoul's team comp, you don't really count on a Xin Zhao to actually scale really well into the late game. His power spikes are mainly throughout that level 3, level 6 mark. And after that, he just kind of starts to fall down because of the lack of utility and the lack of scaling damage that he actually does.
Yes,
Because,
that's why I actually I was on the side of EG pushing the game out
yeah.
to late game because otherwise they have a Jinx. Ghoul have a
Mm,
Jinx and Jinx can be a real monster in the late game. But
right.
on the other hand, if you see that Zinzao or I would say even Kled, both of them are not that really scary in the late game. Especially when you have Leona and Vladimir. Vladimir
Mm.
cannot be like burst down in the late game or melted. So I think they will have a better chance in the late game.
Okay, so we are heading right into the game. So hopefully we will see some interesting matchups, interesting fights, and a very interesting outcome.
The early game will be crucial. I would say, especially for Ghoul.
Mm. Because if Ghoul doesn't really carve out an advantage for themselves in the early game, they're not really going to scale well into the mid game team fights, and they might just end up losing because of the sheer amount of CC that EG are bringing to the table and the sheer amount of AOE damage that EG are bringing to the table. But in terms of the ultimates coming out from Ghoul, I think that Bard will have good disengage, but he will also have a good initiate. It really, as you said, it really depends on how the early laning goes and which team is more poised and more ready, in if I may say so, to tackle those dragon skirmishes or those 3v3s down in the bot lane when a jungler ganks.
Yeah, well, both Zervan and Zinzao, both of them are strong in the early game. So I think it will come down to uh, jungle outplaying, like who can capture the objectives more.
Right. So, in terms of the keystone masteries that both these teams have decided to pick up, Ezreal going for a conqueror here, a which is a popular keystone mastery for Ezreal. A lot of people do opt in to take the lethal tempo keystone mastery on him because he does give him a really solid attack speed boost, and they opt to take lethal tempo over Conqueror because Conqueror is actually pretty, it's pretty difficult to stack on Ezreal. You just need to auto attack 5 times. You really don't have a lot of spells to net, the Conqueror stacks to you fast, unless you just go in EWQ, land everything, and the 2 auto attacks. That's going to do it. But
Yeah.
those are few and far between. Those are few really rare cases where you see an Ezreal
It's
just
going to be
eating in
really
for.
difficult for Zinzao to like gank in the early game
Right.
because they have a Leona and Ezreal. Like it's kind of like the safest lane, I would say.
Mhm.
And if you look at the top lane, they have a Vladimir who also has a
Right.
good way to escape. So I think it will be mostly focused in the mid lane.
Mid lane.
Diana needs to play
Yeah.
it out safe until she gets her power spike.
Yeah. But still, that's the thing. Diana is one of those champions who innately pushes the lane because of her passive. Like that AoE damage deals damage to the minions, and then it just sets up a slow push in her lane. So she will be pushing in a bit more than Irelia, if granted the Irelia doesn't play really aggressively in the early game.
So, what do you think? Do
And
we see a tank German build, or is it going to be a damage? Because Ghoul has an all AD team actually.
yeah, I think that Jarvan is played really efficiently in these sorts of tournament scenes if you play him tank. Because the Pup Stomp Jarvan build that a lot of people go for, the Warrior, Black Cleaver, and Lethality build, it does, one shot an ADC with the ultimate and the EQ. But looking at how EG's team comp is set up, you need that Jarvan and the Leona to actually survive in those drawn out team fights in order for your team to deal damage. So I think it would be better for Jarvan to go tank, but we're just gonna have to see how it goes. If he ends up getting 3 or 4 kills, he can just build damage and force more fights and close out the game faster. So we'll have to see. So Mushfiq, I just wanted to see if we're in sync. Which
Okay, I'm
time
at
are you on right now?
24, 25.
Yeah, we're in sync.
So, do we see an invade? They have a Leona.
It might be Chapnian is going to land a Q onto Asmain, but not really anything else following up after that. That's an interesting name, Chapnian.
Yeah, that's really assuring, you know, like he's telling his team, but don't take some pressure. I'm here.
Yeah. And so we're not really seeing anything too crazy coming out from these teams. Both junglers opting to start at the red buff, maybe. Xin Zhao is going to back off, maybe transitioning to the blue buff, as Cerberus and Aesthetic Curry are waiting near their blue buff to give the leash. Meanwhile, EG Bukfoy is going to start at his red buff with Chapnian and Molten Blood. So ping's coming down from Pigs coming down from Ghoul on their top laner. They might have anticipated something for the Tribush, but that's not really happening right now as both junglers opt to start the red buff.
I would actually suggest Jarvan to go a bit tanky, like not a full tank, but kind of
Yeah,
like the hybrid build. Like he
the
can go
Bruiser build.
Cinder Hulk, maybe, or just build the tanky items with the warrior, like Black
Right.
Cleavers and stuff. because
Right,
they
but we
already
do
have a
see.
huge ton of damage. Like they have a Diana, Vladimir, Ezreal.
Yeah,
He
both
just
junglers
needs to.
actually
Okay,
going for a
there's a
level
gank
2
in the bot
gank right
lane.
now. Right now, Living Dark Lord, he has that Scrying Orb right now. The stun goes out from Triple XL. Osmine going ham, but Living Dark Lord not really in a position to actually initiate the gank. But both these junglers opting for a level 2 gank. Nothing coming out of it, to be honest. But yeah, I appreciate the aggressive start. That's good.
Yeah, I mean they are executing what the champs are picked for. Both of
Yeah,
these have really strong early game and gank potential. They need to utilize it.
definitely. And Osmine actually establish a subtle bit of lane dominance right now as Triple XL is kind of playing on the back foot right now. But here goes Neuromancer, lands the hook onto Amon. The healing reduction coming out from Kled, that is actually pretty smart, honestly. If you have that Kled, you have that healing reduction on Vladimir, it really, hampers his ability to sustain in those duels in the top lane. So that's a
But
good pick
actually,
against
he
Vlad.
also tanked a lot of damage too.
Yeah. But right now, Molten Blood chooses to go in. That was not really an engage right there, but here goes Neuromancer. Does deal a lot of damage, but ends up taking a lot of follow-up damage from the Vlad. Top lane pretty evenly stacked so far.
Yeah, except for mid, all the
Okay,
bot and top lane seems to be on par.
but here comes Buckfoy. Neuromancer might be in trouble. He might be forced to flash out here. Amon gets taken down really low. The flash goes out, but it's not to escape. It's to kill the enemy laner. Amon in a really bad predicament right there. Neuromancer flash killed him, and Jarvan was also forced to flash away.
That
EG
was one
Buckfoy,
of the
that gank.
best outplays on the in the tournament, I would say.
It's like those memes, call an ambulance, but not for me. But here goes Champion. Now the Ignite
It
is
might be
onto
affecting
Aesthetic
the bot
Carry.
lane.
It's gonna
Yeah,
take
picks up the
down,
first kill in
yeah.
bot lane.
But
And
here comes another flash goes in,
okay, there's a
kills
lot
Aura.
of kills at the same time. Irelia picks up a kill in
Yeah,
the mid lane. Zinzao picks up a kill in the jungle.
yep. So, Living Dark Lord and Azmain did get 2 kills right there, like 1 kill each, and Kled,
Kled is
Neuromancer,
really
did manage
playing
to
aggressive.
outplay that 1v2.
Yeah, he's still going in. Like even after Vlad came back with an
Yeah,
item.
Neuromancer hasn't even backed from lane either, so that's gonna net him a lot of XP and a lot of gold so far. He doesn't even have to lose this minion wave. I think he's just gonna take the cannon and back and then get items so that or he can just go in. Amon forced to pull out. Neuromancer doing a lot of damage right now. Fled as he dismounts that shotgun blast to fade away, and he's now pushing the lane in so that he can back and get items. Meanwhile, right now Vlad trying to sustain himself in
Vlad
this
does
lane,
have
and
his
it's going to be
flash.
really
He might go
difficult.
for a combo maybe. Okay, no, there's a lot of CS actually. He cannot do it.
Yeah. That if he misses that CS wave, it's going to not solidify his lead as much as he would have wanted. But Molten Blood kind of playing aggressive here, approaching the bot lane. Cerberus is gonna back away. He doesn't want to mess with the Leona right now. But so far, we did have an action-packed bout in the 3 to 4 minute mark, and it is going to stagnate until Living Dark Lord actually manages to clear out this ward. They might just go for the dragon, but here comes EG Buckboy. The blast cone is exploded. Here comes XL Triple XL from the back. Molten Blood tries to land the E, doesn't really get there. Here goes Triple XL, EQ onto Buckboy. Living Dark Lord might be in trouble. His flash is down. He does get taken down. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, Japnian and Molten Blood are laying down the pressure onto Aesthetic Carry and Cerberus, but that was a really good follow-up play coming out from
Yeah, that's a
Buckfoy.
good shot calling actually. Okay, Vladimir is in trouble.
Okay,
He might just go down here. Okay, now he's survived.
no,
Just a bit of HP.
just a little bit, just a little bit. But yeah, I'm just surprised to see Vladimir level 6 while Kled wasn't level 6 right now. But Azmain is level 6 and he's gonna lay down some pressure at XL Triple XL, but not really landing the stun, so he's forced to back away.
So Diana's first item is going to be a Lich Bane, I guess.
Yeah, he will probably build for that, judging by the fact that he did start with a Sapphire Crystal that builds into the Sheen. But XL
Bot
Triple
lane is
XL hitting level
pretty
6.
evenly matched in terms of farming.
Yeah.
And
But all the lanes are actually evenly matched except for mid
mid
lane.
lane, yeah.
And, no, and top lane they've in top lane Neuromancer has managed to carve himself out a lead as Cerberus does land a bit of damage onto Chapnian, but gets chunked in the process. His ignite is
Oh,
taking down,
Bird
and Molten
goes
Blood manages to
down.
get.
That was a hell lot of damage from Leon actually.
Yeah, that was a lot of damage on that ignite, taking him down slowly and surely. Neuromancer going into Amon again. He is just bullying him at this in the lane at this point. A lot of damage from one engage.
And I actually thought it was going to be the other way around. Like Vlad is usually the bully in the lane.
I think that, Vlad is one of those champions who are not really good in the early game. You just need to, sustain yourself. You just need to play safe and farm up that gold so that you can get those items to help you just pop off in the late game. But like Vlad in the late game is just insane,
Okay,
honestly.
Zinzao is looking for a gank in the bot lane. Jinx
Living
is
Dark
already
Lord
taking
might be
some damage.
catching EG down with
There
their
comes
pants.
Bird.
Cerberus goes into the portal, stunned by Molten Blood. Chapnian just gets slowed down by the Jinx W. Living Dark Lord might net a kill here. He does, but Cerberus says, no, I'm going to chaos that with my auto attack. And basically they might be in a position to actually contest for Dragon as XL Triple XL goes into Osmine. He is flanked by Buckboy. The TP comes down from Neuromancer. This might be a really bad fight for Ghoul. No, this is not a bad fight for Ghoul. This might be a bad fight for EG. Here goes the ult from Neuromancer.
Okay,
The ult
but
comes out from
safe
Cerberus.
Leonor kills him, I guess.
The
Leonor
flash comes
flashes
out from Molten Blood. But that portal follows up. They
He
miss
might actually survive
everything.
this. He might actually survive. Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he does survive. They miss everything, and they might actually be poised to take the dragon.
That was well fought from Irelia. He didn't chicken out when he got 2v1 in the river.
Yeah, that TP was a really good response from the side of Ghoul. Neuromancer really using his lead as a staple moment right there in the team fight, playing as the pivotal member for Ghoul. But right now, Azmain it's his turn to bully Amon out from lane as the ult goes down from Vlad. It is going to temporarily slow down the Aurelia from continuing her onslaught, but yeah, so far, really exciting game.
We have an interesting comment in the YouTube comment section. Someone said, EG to Chapnich.
They are. They're not really in a good position right now. 1.4k gold lead behind, 3 kills down and 1 dragon down. They do need to set up more proactive plays, and they need to win more skirmishes in order to come back. I'm still not going to count them out because of the fact that their Vladimir has farmed up quite a bit so far in the top lane while those skirmishes were going out. Even though he is being bullied in lane, I'm not going to discount the fact that Vlad scales really hard into the late game.
Ezreal is
And
not really an hyper carry, so it doesn't actually matter. Like he
yeah.
isn't feeding; he just died once. Leon is sitting on 2 kills. He already has the Moby boots. We're going to
Yeah.
see a lot of roams, I believe. A lot of deep warding too.
Yeah, as EG Buckboy forced to go top lane to defend the plate pressure that Neuromancer is actually putting down right now in the top lane.
They might be looking for the Rift Herald now. Like both the teams are moving over there.
Yeah, and we might see another fight come down, and this fight might be a decider. Right now in the bot lane, we do see an engage comes out from Cerberus, but there's nothing doing from both teams.
Bard is actually doing.
We're still in sync, right?
I'm at 10, 28, 29.
Yeah, we're in sync. I'm just behind by 1 second, so that's fine. But right now, Molten Blood using that Moby boots to actually run towards the bot lane of Cerberus and Aesthetic Carry. And right now he is setting up an impending doom. He goes on Cerberus.
Goes down.
Oh man, that is a lot of damage that goes on to Cerberus.
That was well played. Like they landed everything.
Yeah, but Ghoul get that trade in with the Rift Herald.
I think Bird just overextended that. Like he was trying to put some pressure on Leona, but he was out of position for a while.
I just wish this sort of agency came out from EG sooner when they were actually going for that dragon fight, because they couldn't translate it into a lot of things, honestly.
Jinx should
Meanwhile,
back out now. Jinx should back out now. Okay, I think it's going to be a kill.
Yeah. There's a dive that goes down from Molten Blood. The Chain CC follows up from Buckboy. Aesthetic Carry is getting chipped down by Buckboy as the Rift Herald actually goes down in the top lane. Amon might be able to hold out his own here against the Rift Herald, but the top lane might just go down. Yeah, it's gonna be the first turret that goes down from Ghoul. Here comes the ultimate from Cerberus, actually. But right now, Neuromancer opting to go ham, but XL is actually there to support Amon. Here comes Living Dark Lord. Neuromancer taking a lot of damage so far. The Ignite goes down. Amon is just chilling at the back. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, we do see a fight goes down. Amon flashes in. The Q goes down with the shutdown. Molten Blood still chasing after Azmain, but that's not enough. Amon, is he going to survive? The pool goes down. Living Dark Lord might want to engage. The double kill goes down to Vladimir. And that was a really nice return fight
My
coming out from
God,
Exterminator.
like both the lanes were going ham. Like we don't know which one to focus on, so I just left it on directed camera.
The directed camera was just spazzing out in between all the lanes,
Yeah.
honestly. Top lane, bot lane, top lane, bot lane. But man, that was really nice. That was really nice coming out from Amon, actually. He uses Vladimir's full potential to actually take down both members of Ghoul.
He just had a moment of redemption actually, like what Clay did in the early game, a 2v1.
Yeah. Yeah, but right there is a sign of things to come, honestly. Like, if Vladimir can scale, that is what you have to look forward to, honestly. Because if you allow Vladimir as a champion to scale into the late game with the gold that he needs and the items that he needs, you are going to face down an unstoppable vampire, honestly. If you cannot shut him down in the mid game
They
and the
need to
early game.
start buying the executioner item.
Yeah, Morello's Executioner's Calling, or even a Thornmail might be. I'm not really sure on Ghoul who that Thornmail will go on, but Thornmail is really not a good option against the team comp that EG have put up. So it might be the Executioner's Calling coming out from Jinx.
EG has a lot of magic damage as well. So.
Yeah. So you can't really build armor against that team either. So they actually have really balanced damage charts right now. Ezreal does hybrid damage. You have Diana and Vladimir dealing a lot of magic damage. They can just stack MR and, negate a lot of the damage that EG deals as Neuromancer takes some of that top lane power that he's earned into the mid
We
lane.
can already see 3 Mercury boots coming from Ghoul.
Yeah, they really don't want to be in CC, but EG caught with their pants down right now in this dragon fight. Ghoul actually taking it down really, really quickly and really comfortably. EG not in a position to respond. That was kind of strange, given that their Vlad has found a new power spike, but I guess they
the
just want.
mid lane. She looks to be AFK. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, mid DC. They were basically
They
all
were
of them,
falling
I
mid
think,
DC.
were DC.
Why did they engage?
Yeah, okay, so I think XL was actually DC in the mid lane. A lot of players were DC, I think.
Yeah, they were calling it. They said mid DC.
Yeah, but I'm not too sure if this kill should be taken. But so far, Mushik, what do you think about what we've seen so far?
Well, it's going exactly how we thought it's going to go. Like Ghoul is looking to make a lot of plays. They are engaging hard,
Mm,
uh,
mm,
but EG is scaling slowly. They are
yeah,
scaling, but slowly. But those 3 kills on Leona, I think if 1 or 2 had gone to Ezreal, it might have been a lot
right,
better for them.
definitely. And in good faith and good sport,
Okay, Leona out.
they led the
They are
Dynamos.
going in. I think this is going to be a dead bird.
Okay, Cerberus taking a lot of damage again. Bokfoy picks up the kill with the ultimate. Here comes Living Dark Lord with a follow-up, but he does take a lot of damage from Chapniana, who's dealing a lot of damage, sustained damage from the back. There was no one addressing the Ezreal's damage, and EG go for a 2-for-1 here.
And Ezreal still sitting on 0 kills actually.
Yeah, that's kind of unfortunate, honestly.
Okay, Evil here coming down to the bot lane, but she decides to back off.
Bushwick, are we still in sync? I think my game froze for a second.
I'm at 15, 6, 7.
Oh, we're in perfect sync. Okay.
I think it's a server issue. I also got frozen for.
Yeah, but here comes Molten Blood. The flash goes out from Aesthetic Carry instantly
That's
the
smart,
moment
that's
he's.
smart.
Yeah,
He knew
that
he was
is.
going to be in trouble if he got stunned, so it flashed out early.
He had a shutdown on him as well, like 150 gold. That you really don't want to be giving that to the Leona right now, who is The most fed member of EG right now, 303, 150 gold shutdown.
I mean, yeah, as I said, if one or two of those skills had gone to Israel, it might have been really helpful. But Leona isn't doing bad, but I think he needs to buy more control words.
Definitely. And EG Chapniana is actually looking more and more like the support, while Leono's more of the carry right now. 026, 6 assists to his name. Not really something you want on an ADC, as you mentioned. But I think the majority of the power spike that comes out from Ghoul's End will be brought in by Kled and Irelia, because both of them are pretty ahead. We will not count out the Jinx, but right now EG's bot lane are consolidating themselves. They are coming back into the game. Like Bard has died 3 times right now. Cerberus getting caught out way too often because of the pressure that Leono actually deals. So right now what we're looking at here is basically a stalemate. We're at a crossroads in the game. The next team fight might be the decider. However, I'm still not going to count it out if Ghoul wins that team fight because, EG are still hard scaling into the game. Vlad already has his proto belt combined with the Fiendish Codex. He might have 2 items in the next 5 minutes. So you're going to be dealing with a very scary Vladimir right now.
Well, Bird is that kind of a champion, like which draws attention and then
Right.
makes an escape or turns the fight around. Like he was doing
Yeah.
a good job of taking the attention of Jinx in the laning phase. Jinx wasn't taking
Hmm.
a lot of poke actually, but then again he actually overestimated himself. And a Leona Israel combo is really hard to play against. He should have been a
Right.
bit more careful.
Yeah, and I think Bard is one of those few champions who has like a global taunt like Teemo. Everyone just wants to kill that annoying
Yeah,
champion, right?
it kind of. I mean, as I said, he draws a lot of attention. This champion,
Yeah.
he's kind of easy to kill and difficult at the same time.
Yeah, he's annoying to play against, honestly. You follow him through a portal, you think you got him at like 100 HP, boom, stunned to a wall.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Singed and Teemo at the same time.
Yeah, so we are in a pause timer. Both teams are having internet issues right now, which is really unfortunate. But this game is turning out to be a real cracker, honestly. I really can't tell who's going to take the pivotal moment and just cement the win. At this point of the game, I really can't tell. Ghoul, they were looking really strong coming out for the early game. They made some really good plays. They solidified their lead in the top lane and the mid lane, and their bot lane was looking pretty good as well because they held their own against the strong matchup of Leona Ezreal. But suddenly things just flipped upside down because Vladimir got that 2-for-1 in the top lane, and they got a 2-for-1 right now in the bottom lane. So it really is going to come down to whoever wins the next 2 fights, in my opinion, consecutively.
Well, from what we have seen so far, I think in case of a 5v5, it should be
Hmm.
going to Ghoul. They have a fit earlier, they have a pretty decent lid, and
Hmm.
Zinzao is also sitting on 3 kills. Jinx,
Yeah.
I think, is going to have the Infinity Edge.
Yeah, but if you allow that Vladimir to actually deal damage, sustain damage throughout the fight, they are pretty much going to lose because Vladimir is one of those champions who you don't really feel the need to attack because you think that he's just going to pull away. So you focus on other members of his team, but then he is right there, you doing damage with the Q, doing damage with the E. He just needs to stay a bit away from the team fight and just do his thing because that sustained damage builds up in these long drawn out fights, and we've seen some long drawn out fights in this game.
Yeah, as I said, they should be looking at some Executioner's Blade. Like,
Yeah,
even if not complete the item, just get the Executioner's Blade to, you know, stop Vladimir from healing, winning the team
definitely.
fights.
Yeah, and right now there are no objectives on the map, so both these teams will be looking to basically push out their lanes and try to look for a pick while roaming, as Ghoul actually try to set themselves up in the bottom lane to get the Scuttle Crab priority. EG not really interested in consolidating vision. I think that Ghoul has the superior vision so far right now in the bot lane, combined with that Scuttle Crab and the vast amount of wards they have near that range and the amount of wards they have in the top lane. EG are basically walking blind in the bot lane so far, but right now Aemon might be in trouble as Living Dark Lord wants to go in, but Azmine misses the stun, so they are just going to disengage.
Yeah, even though there's just a gap of 1 kill, Ghoul actually has a 2k gold lead.
Yeah. And they are going to consolidate their lead even further as they get the second tower of the game.
This mid
Right
turret is
now.
going to be crucial, no? Okay, Jinx is going to
Okay,
get
so
caught out.
Aesthetic Carry might be in trouble here. The ult goes down. EG, Japnian, and Buckboy are there to help. Aesthetic Carry doesn't have his flash up. Remember, he was forced to flash away when Leona spotted him right there, but that is a really big kill coming out from EG, and they can just push out this bot lane to grab their first turret of the game. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Neuromancer is laying down the pressure onto XL Triple XL. He might be rotating down in the bot lane as Ghoul look to secure the second Rift Herald of the game.
Okay, so what do you think about Diana's itemization? It's a lot of ages since what we thought it was going to be Lich Bane.
Okay, yeah, Rod of Ages does land you a lot of survivability in these team fights, but Azmain opting to go in, that might not be a good idea, honestly. The ultimate goes down from Vlad. He is forced to flash off that ultimate. That flash ultimate goes down. And Amon manages to 1v1 the Irelia. That is a huge kill, but here comes Cerberus and XL Triple XL knocking boots right now. Living Dark Lord, not enough damage to kill him. Amon gets shut down by Cerberus, not really the person you want to give the kill to.
Okay, I think his full was on cooldown.
Yeah.
Waiting for it. I think he should have backed out once he picked up the kill on Aurelia.
Yeah, he knew that, you know, Ghoul was taking the Rift Herald, so they were in a position to actually collapse on him. But EG, I don't know. I think a lot of questionable macro plays are being made from the side of EG. They're not really prepared to contest a lot of the objectives so far. They've lost 2 dragons. They just lost the second Rift Herald, and they're down 2 turrets. But Amon is the one that's drawing all the pressure. Why aren't you pushing the other lanes? Why aren't you grouping up for Rift Herald team fights? Why aren't you going more ham on the bot lane? They need more follow-up as a team, because they just can't rely on individual team members to, you know, draw pressure and do nothing. Because if a team member is drawing pressure, that is your green light to actually get out there and secure an objective. Even right now, as the dragon is spawning, EG are collapsing onto this. I'm glad that they are actually collapsing onto this dragon to actually fight against Ghoul.
So we see Zinzao has bought a chain vest. What do you think it's going to be?
I think it might be a Dead Man's Plate or a Randuin's.
Get caught out in the bot lane. Oh, okay, now.
That global taunt really not doing any favors for Cerberus, as Living Dark Lord is actually, you know, shoved away. EG not doing too bad right now for this fight. They lay down the pink ward, they get the vision, and they actually start off this dragon, which might be a really good thing right here. But Neuromancer does have the TP up. He's pushing up the top lane. 5 members of EG are available for a fight. Amon goes in.
The dragon first. Jinx is still not there.
Yeah, Jinx is still around in the bot lane, but Neuromancer laying down a lot of pressure with that Rift Herald. I think they're gonna trade this for the turret. But here goes Molten Blood. Really nice pick onto Azmain. But there's not an engage coming out from XL Triple XL. That is really hard. But that 3-man ultimate. But right now, Japnian is being the assassin. Ezreal takes down Aesthetic Carry, and Vladimir is gonna back off and address that Rift Herald problem right now. But good play coming out from EG. They responded well to that pressure, trading a turret for the dragon, but they did get a kill in the ensuing fight, which was really good. But Cerberus with that 3-man ult in the banana bush area, that could have been really bad for Ghoul if that didn't happen.
Jinx was actually in a good position to deal some heavy damage, but Ezreal picked him out well.
Yeah, playing that assassin Ezreal to good effect. He now has 2 kills instead of just 6 assists.
Yeah, he's finally picking up kills. I think he's going for the Triforce. Okay, no, it's going to be Gauntlet.
Okay, so he does opt for the Gauntlet to slow down the divers of Ghoul, but I'm not really too sure regarding that item choice. You, as Ezreal right now, you want to be dealing as much damage as you can before you know, get bursted down by someone from the enemy team, because Ghoul, there's no stopping them. You have Neuromancer with the ult on Kled.
I think
you have Irelia, who's a really good engagement.
Actually, is Irelia and Zinzao diving him, or maybe even Kled. But actually, they have a lot of other champions who should be focused.
Right now, Buckboy might be caught out. That ultimate gets cancelled out by Leona. That was a really good play. He's not taking any damage so far from Irelia or Kled. But right now, it might be a counter engage that comes out from EG. Amon is the one that gets ulted. That is a brilliant ult, but it might not be in Ghoul's favor, because EG are laying down the pain here. Amon doing massive amounts of damage, and he is going to take down Kled, but meanwhile, Jinx, aesthetic carry, doing a lot of damage. Ezreal gets down the clutch WQ. A lot of damage goes down. Living Dark Lord trying to survive with a sliver of HP. The Q is basically dictated out, but that follow-up WQ from Japniana, that was
Amazing play
brilliant.
from Ezreal, amazing. Like he kept the
Brilliant,
distance, he
brilliant
kited
play.
out and dealt the damage at the same time. And finally, Dan is also popping off.
Yeah, see, this is what I said when I told you that, if you ignore a Vladimir, he's gonna cause some really big problems. All of them focused on Ezreal. Japniana was the primary focus of that fight, while Amon was basically dealing free damage for the first half of the fight. It's only when Ezreal was chipped away and he had to force and he had to be, he was forced to flash away that they focused back onto Amon. But by then it was too late. He was already popping off. He had his blood pool up. He had his ultimate damage right there, and they just
Those
obliterated Ghoul.
anti-healing items needs to come up now. They need to buy the Executioner's Blades.
Definitely, and that Morello needs to,
You could
okay,
see
they don't
how
have
much
any person
damage
to actually build
Vladimir tanked
Morello.
in the last team fight, and he was still going strong. They need to
Yeah,
stop the healing.
and Leona is actually also really, really tanky so far. Those 3 kills and 7 assists really letting Molten Blood, soak up a lot of the pressure that Ghoul does. And I'm just afraid that as the game goes on, Ghoul's damage output potential is just going to go down because Leona's going to build tanky. You have Jarvan's actually building damage right now, but you have Vladimir who can tank a lot of the damage that you are going to put out. So as the game goes on, Ghoul are just going to be digging themselves into a hole that they might not be able to get out from. So right now, if I were Ghoul, I'd be looking to fight immediately, get a pick, try to make something happen across the map, because as the game goes on, this is not going to go well. But Cerberus hovering on, he might be caught out. He does get caught out as a brilliant engage comes out from EG. The ult misses, but here goes Triple XL with a 2-man ult. The Jarvan goes in with the ultimate. Living Dark Lord might be in problem, dashes out, but Bok Boy does get taken down. Here goes Amon popping off. Osmine being taken down by 4 members of EG as they're going to push in for the inner turret of Ghoul.
Okay, I
Greatest
would say
comebacks 2020?
that was a bad face check from Bert, but they needed to back out after that. Instead, Irelia went in.
I love how EG have basically regrouped and reconsolidated themselves to actually, get the advantage and get the pace of the game. They got control of the game as Cerberus does a 2-man ult
There
onto the
comes
turret,
Blade.
and
Finally, Blade comes
Euromancer. But I'm not truly sure as to how we can go in. Molten Blood gets taken down really, really slowly. The ult lands onto XL, Triple XL, but it's not enough damage to kill him. But Ghoul are in a better position to contest for the Dragon Fight as Cerberus wants to go in and kill Japnian. Neuromancer is following suit. Not a lot of CC to pin down an Ezreal, but they're still going for it. They still want to kill Japnian. Now he gets taken down by Neuromancer. That was
and
not
that's a lot
really
of
a...
takedown gold on him.
That's not really a good idea when you have a lead like that. They are in position to take this Baron right now as Living Dark Lord. He built a GA, but he's going to get taken down as Ghoul's members are collapsing on him to help him out, and he is going to get taken down by Vladimir. Amon is on a rampage. They
I
might just
really don't
contest this
appreciate
dragon as well.
Buying the GA as second item on a Zinzao.
Yeah, but Amon doing a lot of damage right now. Cerberus caught out again. A lot of damage goes on to him. Here goes XL, Triple XL. 3 members ulted. A lot of damage goes in. Ghoul and EG are knocking trade for trade right now as Amon is basically popping off. He gets the double kill onto 2 members of Ghoul. And they get the dragon. And they're going to go for the Baron as well. What a team fighting game we are seeing right now, ladies and gentlemen. This game is adrenaline-filled, packed with action. And we as Shoutcasters are just struggling to keep up with the pace of both these teams. What a show! What a show!
This is really going to be sad if EG goes out today after this amazing display of gameplay.
Definitely, definitely. This is really their heyday, honestly. They've consolidated themselves, they've regrouped, they've come back into a game where they were looking down and out, but they are really, really going ham right now as they might be able to secure this Baron. Yes, they will. Living Dark Lord not really doing anything, forced to ult away. But EG Japniana once more as he might be caught out with the ult here. EG Japniana, Cerberus. There's no follow-up and he flashes away.
Okay, that GA is just going to be sitting there now as an useless item, I'd say. Like Jinzo,
Yeah.
I still can't believe that Kled, Irelia, Jinza, none of them have an executioner's blade. Jinx has
Yeah,
one, but
you're
I don't think Jinx will be going to their backline.
like we said, if you allow that Vladimir to pop off, he's going to be basically dealing a lot of damage and he's going to cause severe problems for you. He is a champion that you just cannot deal with in the late game. And I'm on big props to him. He's been playing that Vlad to great effect. And Japnian has been really on point with his WQs. I love the fact that he's been able to dodge every single skill shot coming out from Ghoul, except for that ult in the last Baron fight. And he's been able to dish out massive amounts of damage.
Okay, Israel has completed Blade of the Wind team.
And he's going to
Is
be popping off
yeah.
really hard right now, dealing a lot of damage to the Kled, who hasn't built any armor items, mind you. But Cerberus might be caught out again. He's been making a habit of this lately. The flash portal goes down. It's not really going to do anything as EG collapsed onto Ghoul. That's a really blast cone spinning up the fight. But Ghoul might be in trouble as Almond goes down on goes on to two members of Ghoul. Ascetic carry being chipped away by Buckboy as EG just run a lawnmower over
I think
Ghoul,
this is
and
going to be
they
game. This is going to be
and
game.
they are just yeah, they are in a position to actually close out this game. Are they gonna go for Neuromancer? They really want to, and they do. This is a really convincing fight right there. And EG pick up the win after being down and out in the early game. We counted them out. We thought that Ghoul was going to take the lead, but they came back. They got the Baron, they got the Dragons, and they got those team fights in. What a performance. What a game, ladies and gentlemen. Amazing stuff coming out from EG.
Yeah, they were at their A game today. Okay, Israel actually dealt the highest damage in the team, just a bit more than Vladimir.
Not surprising. Ezreal and Vladimir really, really carrying
Okay,
that game.
so what do you think of the group now? Like Exterminator Gaming is sitting on 2 wins, as well as Ghoul.
Yeah,
And so the last game today, Omega Squad versus Keyboard Warriors, that's going to be the real group decider game. If Keyboard Warriors win, we're going to see a three-way tie in this group. And if Omega
three.
Squad wins, then Uttara Boys and Omega Squad, both of them will go through. Like everything
Right,
decides on
so
that game.
yeah, everything is on that game. Omega Squad. Hmm. But right now, it means that even if Omega Squad wins or loses, Ultra Boys are still through.
Yeah, Uttara Boys and Omiska squads are pretty much true unless KW makes an upset there. That's the only way.
No, Ultra Boys is still through though.
No,
My
no, I'm
team is
saying about
through. I'm
Omega.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I was talking about Omega because you two teams should be going unless KW makes a comeback. That's
Like
the only way.
if KW wins the next game,
Mm-hmm.
then Uttara Boys is definitely through. Like they have
Mm-hmm.
3 wins,
Yeah.
and then there will be a three-way tie between Ghoul, Omega Squad, and Exterminator Gaming.
Right. But ladies and gentlemen, hope you enjoyed the game as much as we did, honestly, because that was man, I need to take a break after that one.
Okay, let's take a 10-minute break. Next game is at 10 p.m. So Hasan, তুমি stream করতে পারবে, right?
Yeah, definitely. Bro, তুমি